What is going on YouTube? My name is Nando and this is my second ever video on YouTube. So welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my new to me car. This is my 1997 BMW 328 IS. It is a coupe, it's not a sedan if you guys couldn't already tell. But yeah, this is my car. I got it for $7,000 with 148,000 miles. I don't know if that's good or not. But I feel like in the condition that it's in and after doing some research with the market, I feel like that's a pretty good price to pay for this car. But it is a clean title, it is a manual, and it's definitely been a fun car so far. But besides that, in this video I'm going to be walking you guys around my car, giving you guys a tour of the exterior and the interior and showing you guys just all of the defects that I bought it for. But let me know what you guys think. Is the price that I paid too much or is it okay? Before I do show you guys my car, I just wanted to let you guys know that before I had this car, I had a 2009 Civic Si. It was an 8th generation Civic and it was fun as hell as a daily. I was gonna build it up to be my daily / track car, but since I had a 350Z, I decided to just make that into a track car and buy something that's even more fun because I always wanted to try drifting. So this is gonna be my daily / practice drift car. There's a lot of work that needs to be done before it can be a drift car, but we'll make it work, we'll make it happen. And yeah, stay tuned for the future videos of my future build. So yeah, here comes the tour. So yeah, let's go ahead and start the tour of the car. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start at the exterior because it's right there. We're gonna start at the front of the car. This is how it looks right now. It looks very, very bad. I know it's not terrible, but it's not ideal. As you guys can see, the lights right there are mismatched. One is a little bit clear, the other one is pretty fogged up yellowish color. The corner lights, one is orange, one is clear, and that's because I was in the process of switching the clears for the orange ones. So this one's not fully in, but I just bolted in there quickly just to make this video happen. So also, as you guys can already tell, another defect in the front is the bottom corner of the bumper. There's a huge scuff right there. I feel like the previous owner just hit a curb or something, I don't know. But another one is over here in this corner. Paint's already cracking. There's also a lot of rock chips. I feel like these cars get hit by rocks a lot, especially with their kind of flat front face. So I feel like it just eats up a bunch of rocks. And then a lot of the trimming is already fading. Not surprising because it is a 25-plus-year-old car. But not to worry, we are going to be switching out the front bumper with the M3 style bumper. I'm not going OEM. I wish I could go OEM, but those bumpers are pretty expensive and I'm trying to keep this as budget friendly as possible. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to switch out these lights to amber. I don't know if these are the OEM ones or not. The owner just provided them for me. But I'm not really digging the clear corners, especially for the black color. I feel like for other colors it would look nicer, but the clear, I don't know. We're also switching out the headlights. I'm not gonna try to restore these because I've tried restoring headlights before and I suck at it. Maybe I just need more practice, but these headlights are going out. I don't know about the grille yet. I don't know how I feel about those. I've never seen other designs, but this one will do for now. As far as the paint goes, the paint, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna be bashing on this car a lot, so I'm not really too worried about the paint, but maybe I will wrap it one day. We'll see. There's also this. I don't know what this is, but it's very hard and I don't know how to get it off. But we are gonna be detailing the car, full detail, so we're gonna get rid of most of the paint defects. Moving on to the side of the car, this is how it sits right now. It is sitting on E36 wheels, I believe, premium wheels. I'm not sure what style. I believe they're style 73 wheels. They look good on the car, but I'm definitely switching them out to, I don't know, maybe E36s, just like my 350Z. But I'm also scared that since I'm using this car as a practice drift car, that using E37s is gonna be a bad idea, because I don't want to end up hitting a curb somewhere somehow. But they're sitting on 225, 45, 17s. I'm not too sure what the specs are on these wheels, but they sit pretty nice. I was thinking about getting a spacer, but I'm not gonna get too deep into that since I am gonna be switching out the wheels pretty soon. All right, moving on to the rear of the car. This is where a lot of the damage on the exterior is. If you guys can't see, the bumper's kind of sagging on the left side, and then the trunk is lifted up and not aligned with the right side. So on the left side, if you guys can see right here, it's kind of lifting up that way. And then on this side, the trunk is sitting pretty flush. Also, over on this side, we have this huge defect right there, and then we have some dents in the corner. There's a dent right there, and a dent right there. This thing is already starting to rust up a little bit, so I got to get that taken care of real soon. This was not hit by a car or a motorcycle. The previous owner, his dad, actually backed up and hit a pole kind of like that, so he couldn't really see it. But it's nothing too major. I don't know how much this is going to cost to fix. I'm kind of scared that it's going to cost more than $1,000, which is kind of what I'm expecting. But yeah. I am also going to be switching out this bumper to an M3 style bumper. This whole car is going to be M3 style, including the side skirts. Also, this part of the bumper is already cracking. It's, I mean, like I said, it's a 25-plus-year-old car, so I'm not really surprised. In the trunk works perfectly, even though it's not aligned. I have a lot of stuff that I'm replacing. These are the new headlights. I am returning those because they don't really fit well. But in the trunk's pretty clean. It still has its tire underneath this mat. And then it also has a subwoofer box with some Alpine subwoofers. And the battery is in here. It's a new battery. It's from Interstate, and I believe that's a Costco battery. So we also have this wing right here. I believe this is an M3 style wing, one of the styles that it comes with. And it's a Hella, so I made sure that it's a Hella because it's not a rep, but apparently after watching another video, this is one of the rare wings out there, so pretty much gonna keep that. But the defects on this wing is, I don't know if it can show up on video, but there's a lot of bubbling right there. And I don't know how that was caused, but we'll get that figured out. I'm not really, like I said, the paint, I'm not really too scared of the paint. So, moving on to this side of the car, there's that damage that I showed you guys just now. And then there's some door dings right here. I believe there's 2 big ones and then 2 small ones right there. Like I said, nothing too major. The gas tank still works. Looks pretty clean for what it is. And then I think there's a couple more door dings right there. I'm gonna try to fix that myself so that I can save a couple $100. And that's pretty much it on the exterior. The sunroof still works. Yeah, I looked underneath the car. There's really no rust or whatever. And there's no rust around the car on the outside of the car, except for that. Before I move on into the interior, let me show you guys what the engine bay looks like. I'm surprised a 1997 car already has these and doesn't really need those hood, whatever they're called. But yeah, here's the engine bay. The engine bay is pretty clean, even though it's dirty, obviously, but it is pretty clean. There's not a lot of things going on. This has no cracks, which I am happy about. Apparently they're rare to mushroom, but it still happens. So I was afraid, that was one of the things that I'm afraid of when buying an E36 is the strut tower and the shock towers in the rear. They do crack pretty easily with high performance stuff or driving, and I was just really scared that they were cracked, but luckily these aren't cracked. I don't know if they're reinforced. I haven't checked underneath if they are yet, but I do know that the rears are reinforced. They're not welded in, but the plates are sitting on the strut or the shock, whatever. And then as far as the engine goes, the engine is pretty healthy. There's been a lot of things that's been replaced. The water pump, the thermostat, the valve cover gasket, and I believe some other stuff. I kind of forgot, but we are going to be doing a whole coolant system overhaul. So I'm going to be doing a video on that. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm going to probably most likely buy a Walkaround radiator with a Mishimoto reservoir or something like that. I forgot what the actual name is called, and some other stuff. But yeah, this is how it looks like. Only damage to the engine bay is not in the engine bay itself, but on the engine cover or the hood, right underneath the hood. There's that. Pretty much just gonna replace it or just take it off. If I do replace it, it's probably gonna be hard to find this part. I've been looking on parts for this car, and a lot of them are discontinued on BMW's website, and a lot of them are just not being sold on Facebook Marketplace. But when I do find parts, they are fairly cheap. OEM parts straight from the manufacturer is going to be a little expensive, as expected. But overall, on Facebook Marketplace, a lot of the parts are pretty cheap. So this car is pretty affordable. So moving on to the interior. This is how the car is looking like. It's an all black interior except for the headliner. The headliner is like a creamish color, not gray. And I don't know why car manufacturers do that. In my 350Z, it's an all black interior except for the headliner, which is, it looks exactly like this BMW, and I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they don't just make it all black. Maybe it's just for lighting purposes. But it's strange because I feel like a lot of people prefer the whole interior to just be one color. But yeah, everything's black except for a few trim pieces, which is the shift knob, that little cubby, this little cubby over here, and then that trim piece above the glove box. I don't know what pattern that is, but it's ugly as hell, and I feel like it's just made for old people. I don't know if the shift knob is OEM or not, but I feel like the previous owner didn't really do much to the car. So I'm pretty sure the whole car is pretty much OEM, nothing aftermarket, except for this head unit right there, and for the subwoofers in the back, obviously. The floor mats in the rear and in the passenger are in pretty good shape, except for this one. This one is obviously the driver's, and it's gonna get beat up mostly, but I am gonna be replacing it. I don't like how it looks. I'm gonna try to restore this car to OEM Plus as much as possible. I'm gonna be switching out the shift knob. I'm gonna be switching out that brown cubby. That head unit is also going. I've also already started the process of taking this out. Everything here doesn't work. I kind of just pieced everything back together just to show you guys how the car sits right now. As you guys can tell back there, right there, the speaker is open because I was in the process of replacing the speakers. But yeah, all this old stuff right here is gonna be replaced. Hopefully I can find replacement parts that are in new condition, because I don't know, I just like to have my car looking as clean as possible. The one defect in this interior is the sunroof headliner. That is already messed up. I did not purchase the car like that. The owner actually kept this car really nice. After purchasing this car, I opened the sunroof a few times, and probably the fourth time I opened it, the headliner kind of started getting stuck over here, and it wouldn't let me close the sunroof all the way, so it just stayed open up until there, and I had to pull the headliner in order for it to get unstuck and to actually close, because we're in Seattle and this place rains any moment, anytime, whenever it wants, and I didn't want this car to be flooded. So yeah, another defect is this. I believe there should be some tabs right here, and those tabs are where this bolt or screw is supposed to go to hold this down, but unfortunately the previous owner cracked it in multiple places, so I'm gonna try to weld those pieces in, so that plastic weld it so that this thing will stay down. I tried buying this trim piece on BMW's website, but it is discontinued, unfortunately. And I tried looking for a replacement part on Facebook Marketplace, but there's not a lot where the switch openings are like this. I know I could probably just cover it, but I want something that's an exact fit. Sorry, I forgot there was multiple defects. I thought it was just the sunroof and that trim piece, but the door cards are also defective, or not defective, but there's a defect. The leather's already popping out right here, so I'm gonna have to pop this door card open, remove the leather, replace it possibly, or I might just re-glue everything on there, but the leather looks pretty bad and worn, so I might just replace it altogether with another black leather. This is also starting to peel off. On the other side, it's happening also. The same thing is happening, except this part right here is still pretty good. It's just this side right here needs to be re-glued or replaced. One cool thing about this car is that I can fit in the back comfortably. This is at my seated position, my driving position. So yeah, there's a lot of leg room, which is really nice. For some reason, on the outside, this car, since it's a coupe, it looked really small on the outside, but once you sit in here, it feels pretty comfortable, not gonna lie. I feel like I can go on a road trip just like this and be comfortable throughout the whole way. In the interior, we also have heated seats, which is surprising because I thought cars had heated seats past 2000 for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I didn't know cars in the 90s already had heated seats. It also has power windows, and these seats are also powered on both the passenger and the driver. And that's pretty much it. What was weird to me though is the steering wheel. The steering wheel, you're not able to adjust it, which is the only downside of this car that I can think of when it comes to the interior. It just can't be adjusted, and that's weird because I have to adjust the seat to find a perfect position, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be too close to the steering wheel to the point where pressing on the clutch is gonna feel weird. So yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing I forgot to mention was the suspension. This thing is sitting on Dynon suspension. I'm not sure if they're coilovers or not. I haven't really thoroughly looked throughout the car and what parts it has, but I just know that it has Dynon suspension. And I believe that's the only aftermarket part it has. I also don't know what version of Dynon suspension it is. I don't know if it's like a V3, V1, V2 or something like that, or if there's even any other versions except for one. But yeah, it's not on stock struts or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of my walkthrough for this car. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the car. I like it so far. It's been fun to drive, and I just can't wait till I can actually start sliding on the streets and practicing my drifting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this a good drift car? If the price was good for the quality that I bought it for and give me some tips. All you E36 owners, let me know what I should do with this car. And yeah, peace out. Thank you for watching and have a good day.